we've already seen a large growing National Guard presence here in downtown LA. If you take a look behind me here, you can see troops are stationed along Alameda Street as another protest is expected to take place later today near City Hall.
Okay, so the National Guard has finally made it to Los Angeles. Now, there's a bunch of controversy here because the Marines might show up as well. We'll get to that later. Now, we have a bunch of updates to go over. There were a lot of clashes overnight in LA. And like I said before, the Marines might show up. So we're gonna go over all of this new information. Now, before we start, please like the video. It's the #1 way you guys are helping this channel, but it also helps others see the videos as well. Thank you so much.
They're coming out. They're coming out. Watch out. Fuck you!
Okay, so it got very hectic overnight in Los Angeles. Now, that was expected, but the raw footage really shows you why Donald Trump said enough is enough, we have to send the National Guard. Now, just to give some credit, that video was from Cam Higbee. He also has a YouTube channel. He was in the middle of all of the chaos. If you want to see some more raw footage, go check him out. Now, overnight, Pete Hegseth confirmed that the National Guard will be immediately mobilizing to LA, but I wanted to show you, and if violence continues, active duty Marines at Camp Pendleton will also be mobilized. They are on high alert.
This follows President Trump's deployment of 2,000 National Guard members in response to a series of immigration protests across the city. This is new video from overnight showing the troops arrive. They stopped at City Hall after driving through Paramount, then ended up here at the Federal Building. Meantime, this follows another night of protest.
Straight, look at this. That's so sad. What is this? Look at this. Oh my God. I can't. You want to risk me getting.
So on top of the protesting and rioting, there was also looting, unfortunately. Now you're probably wondering, where the heck was the police? Well, according to local officials, this was all very peaceful. No, like literally, straight from the police department. Today, demonstrations across the city of Los Angeles remained peaceful, and we commend all those who exercise their First Amendment rights responsibly. The Los Angeles Police Department appreciates the cooperation of organizers, participants, and community partners who helped ensure public safety throughout the day. Now, I think you'll find this funny. The police department was fact-checked or community noted on X. They said the protests were not peaceful and without incident. Now, if you haven't already, make sure to please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to give you guys updates on this story and updates across the United States as far as keeping our elected officials held accountable. So please subscribe.
So there's unrest. Let's start with there's protest, lawful protest, which is allowed in this country. There is some unrest.
But what we saw today in Paramount, there were no problems. At one point, somebody did throw a Molotov cocktail, an attempt, and it did not engage. It did not blow up.
So unfortunately, what we're seeing now is the narrative war. It wasn't that bad of a protest. We had a lot of peace here, but there was some bad. And then on the flip side, no, there was like rioting. This was not a good thing.
The reality is we see peaceful protests launching in Los Angeles. And again, any violence against police officers should not be accepted. Local authorities can handle that. But remember, a lot of these peaceful protests are being generated because the President of the United States is sowing chaos and confusion by arresting people who are showing up for their immigration hearings.
Now, the governor of California is not happy. He's also, of course, blaming the Trump administration for all of the chaos, but also overreaching. The federal government is moving to take over the California National Guard and deploy 2,000 soldiers. That move is purposefully inflammatory and will only escalate tensions. LA authorities are able to access law enforcement assistance at a moment's notice. We are in close coordination with the city and county, and there is currently no unmet need. The Guard has been admirably serving LA throughout recovery. This is the wrong mission and will erode public trust. Make sure to leave your comments down below how you feel about these statements. Now, I do want to mention Homeland Security and other federal agencies are actually very upset with the lack of response from local authorities, which is why the Trump administration is saying they have no choice but to deploy the 2,000 National Guard troops. There is an expectation that today, on day 3, there will be more protest. And again, it's up to you guys to decide how you feel about all of this. On the opposing side, this is the Trump administration just instigating the issue. On the conservative side, this is the Trump administration trying to protect federal assets and complete a mission they have wanted to do as far as these deportations.
I'd love to get your response to Governor Newsom saying, essentially, that your actions here are provocative, and the quote that he used was sowing chaos.
So Governor Newsom's an embarrassment for the state. That, he's the one that's feeding this mantra. He supports sanctuary cities. He supports sanctuary laws. If he cared about public safety in the state of California, he would not have a sanctuary for criminals, where criminals get released to the streets of this state every day because of his policy.
I'd love to get your response.
Shooting! Go, 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 go.
Now, I do want to point out, it's not only federal assets that are getting attacked or yelled at, you also have local assets like you're about to see in this raw footage of a police officer literally getting harassed and yelled at.
Oh, he wants a ride.
Now, unfortunately, what we're seeing is a lot of collateral damage outside of the protesters going face to face with the federal government. Again, we're seeing looting in gas stations, we're seeing vehicles being burned, news reporters being yelled at. This is really extending to just outside of the peaceful protest, which again is another problem the Trump administration has. Calling out the city and California saying, you guys obviously can't even handle your own issues.
Video from last night shows tense moments in downtown LA as protesters clashed with police, some setting off fireworks and starting fires. Officers responded with what appeared to be tear gas to disperse the crowds. In a separate incident, demonstrators were seen entering a damaged convenience store in Compton and looting items from inside. According to the LAPD, multiple individuals who returned to the area after a dispersal order was issued on Alameda Street.
Watch out, watch out, watch out. Oh, you shot her in the face.
So again, when watching this footage, remember, the mayor is saying everything is good to go. Gavin Newsom is saying we have local assets. They can handle this. This is the problem people have when they're watching all of this footage. And you want to talk about distrust with the federal government. I think we can see a lot of the distrust is happening with the local governments here.
We're literally out there protesting, carrying a foreign flag. That is absolutely insane. I mean, they're not just peaceful protesters. Well, these are illegals. These are exactly why the president is trying to secure our border.
All right. Well, carrying a flag is not illegal, as you know. And I just want to be clear.
I just want to be flag while you're attacking law enforcement. It's pretty bad.
That's a different question. But I just want to just state for the record that what did happen in 1992 was so different from what we're seeing now. I mean, that was a real riot that went all across the city of Los Angeles after a verdict in the Rodney King case. This is a situation where the LA County Police,
Dana,
it's not good, but they're saying that they have it under control, and the president is sending national troops, federal troops, in a way that
we can look at this and we can obviously
time.
see that it is not under control. It's not under control. You and I both can see that. It's not under control. And a riot is a riot. They're throwing all types of objects at law enforcement, and the president is absolutely right. I can't say this enough. This is why the American people elected President Trump, because we are moving in the right direction.
Now, leave your comments down below how you feel about this. As somebody who covers stuff like this every single day, so make sure to subscribe and like the video, you will often notice people have a different scale of what's morally wrong or accepted. Oftentimes, obviously on the conservative side, everything is super America, pro-America, why are people waving Mexican flags? And then on the flip side, the more liberal Democrat side, well, that's not a problem. In fact, what we're seeing is not that bad. It's bad, but not that bad. Again, ultimately speaking, I think it's up to the citizens of the United States to figure out what they think is bad or not bad, but I'm just trying to show you guys and highlight this is what we're seeing in the media right now. Some people are saying this is the worst thing we've ever seen, and others are saying, well, it's not that bad.
President Trump said masks will not be allowed to be worn at protests. Who's going to enforce that and how? And how can you justify it when law enforcement officials have their faces covered?
You know, what I would say is that the law is going to be enforced, and that what the laws are in this country is what we are doing, and our ICE officers and our law enforcement officers out there that are in these situations where people have questioned why they have their faces covered. It's for the safety of those individuals or the work that they're doing as far as protecting their identity so they can continue to do investigative work. So,
but are you tasking the National Guard soldiers with removing masks from protesters? I mean, are you trying to use them in that way?
National Guard soldiers are there to provide security for operations and to make sure that we have peaceful protests. So that's what their work is. And I won't get more specific on that just because we never do when it comes to law enforcement operations. We're doing the same standard procedures we always do and have for years in this country with our National Guard and with our, law enforcement folks that are on the ground working with these communities.
Okay, so that's also the big news. Donald Trump put out a statement saying that protesters should not and will not be allowed to wear masks. Now, I do want to point out this interview was this morning, this Sunday, day 3 of the potential riots and protests. So again, we'll have to wait and see what happens. I will definitely update you guys on everything. With the National Guard in the area, I wouldn't be surprised if protesters are saying, all right, this is a great opportunity to maybe get a clash going here or there. Obviously, we do not want that to happen on this channel. I think what we're seeing in Los Angeles is very bad for everyone, no matter whose side you're on. We want to see peace, and I hope we get that soon. God bless, and we'll see you all later.